Good morning. I'll call to order the Public Services Committee on Tuesday, April 24th, 2018 at 11 a.m. And with that, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Spiz is absent with notice. Jackson?
Here.
Berman?
Here.
McGilvray?
Here.
Teets is absent with notice. And Dwyer?
Here. Thank
Do we
you,
have
and
quorum?
please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and now we'll have approval of the minutes from the April 10th, 2018 meeting. Moved by Commissioner Berman, supported by Commissioner McGilvray. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now I'll ask for a motion for the approval of the agenda. Moved by Commissioner Jackson, supported by Commissioner Berman. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. We'll now open it up for public comments. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comments and move to our regular agenda. And our first item is the Sheriff's Office authorization for sale of recovered and stolen property in spring auction. This is moved by Commissioner McGilvray, supported by Commissioner Berman. And we have Under Sheriff Mike McCabe and Mr. Dale Cunningham. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
Go
did you
right
have a
ahead.
motion? I apologize.
Yeah, we did. Thank
We're
wasn't
ready.
paying
Yeah.
attention. Okay, sorry.
We're just moving right along here.
Okay. It's the annual spring auction that takes place every year, of a spring and fall auction, so we're just asking permission to conduct the auction with the property that you see attached. We do, go ahead, Dale.
Well, one of the things that you'll notice is that the list of property is very small this year. We have been notified by the state of Michigan that cities, villages, and townships have the right to sell unclaimed property. For some reason in the law, it doesn't address a county. So we've always sold unclaimed or lost property. The state of Michigan's thinking that under their rules that they want to claim our property. They want us to take it up to them. So we're not in agreement with that, of course, but we're having discussions. So I'm having the property lady that runs our property room not put everything up on the spring auction until I get this matter resolved. But Corporation Council's involved, we got everybody involved, but there's just a little fluke in the law that it didn't address counties. It says cities, villages, and townships. And so the state of Michigan has an unclaimed property division, and they have notified us that we need anything over $25. I'm sorry, I should have clarified. Anything that's worth over $25, they can lay claim to according to their new rules.
So after decades, they want to change
Yeah,
the
we've
procedures been.
notified them this for 40 years since I've been here.
Right.
We ask them, they say get rid of it. I can't imagine the property that we're selling they want, but I don't know what the change is. So that's why you see such a light list here. Normally our list is 2 or 3 pages long.
Right.
When we're selling stuff. So we'll get it resolved, and we'll probably have a big list next year. So.
For the October.
Okay, very good. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Jackson?
Yes.
Berman?
Yes.
McGilvray?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes. Motion carries. Second item is Sheriff's Office fiscal year 2018 Drug Recognition Expert, DRE, call-out reimbursement agreement, grant acceptance, and this is moved by Commissioner Jackson, supported by Commissioner McGilvray.
This is a process we have to go through. Unfortunately, the money is passed down from the state to us to reimburse us. We have 3 deputies that are trained as DREs, Drug Recognition Experts. In order to become a DRE, you have to go, there's an 80-hour class in Lansing, and a week in Arizona, and ongoing training. But with the, let's just say there's a lot more driving under the influence of narcotics now and drugs than there used to be. It used to be just OWI. It has become a real problem. So these deputies are trained to respond to say a deputy out on the street, there's something wrong with this person. They think they're drunk, but they blow a 0 on the PBT. They are trained to come in and analyze and determine that they are more than likely under the influence of some sort of narcotic or drug. These deputies are available for call-out countywide. There are several other officers throughout this county that are also trained at other police departments, so we have an agreement where if one's not available, we could maybe call, I know Auburn Hills has one or two, I'm not sure the other departments, but unfortunately, this is becoming more prevalent, and you'll see more of these.
Is this a cadre of deputies? I mean,
We have three
you
that are
have
trained,
three.
yes.
Then they have regular duties too, as far as.
Yeah, like Sergeant Marsman's he's a detective sergeant, he's in the Special Investigations Unit, but he's available for call-outs. He's one of the three. The other two are both in the Secondary Road Patrol Unit.
This is pretty fairly new as far as in law enforcement?
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunately what it's evolved to, but it's a new thing that's within the last couple of years that's come up.
Any questions?
No question.
Commissioner Jackson?
Thank you. So, when one of these officers is called out, if it's not the case, if a person isn't under the influence of narcotics, I'm sure you guys keep records as far as those type of occurrences, right? Because,
Well, there would be a report written, yes.
okay, so there could be stats that could be obtained for those cases where those officers are called out and they do not deem that a person is under the influence of narcotics.
Right.
Because-
What it does, it gives us probable cause to get a search warrant. Okay? I mean, the officer makes their observations, and then based upon that, we go to a judge and get a search warrant for their blood to see what exactly might they be under the influence of.
Okay, so,
We don't make an arrest just based upon it. So we'll get a search warrant and draw blood based on the judge's signing of that search warrant.
okay, and then after the blood draw, that's what would determine if the person is actually under the influence of a narcotic.
That's correct.
And that blood draw usually occurs like within,
Within hours of the
Okay.
traffic stop.
okay, and then those stats would be obtained at that time, how many people?
I'm sure we could obtain, we don't maintain a separate database to say, who did and who didn't. There will be a police report written, and that information would be obtainable. But we don't do a spreadsheet to,
See,
keep
like,
track
how
of it.
many people in what
No, just like
area?
we don't do the same thing with driving under the influence of alcohol. I mean, there will be a police report written, it'll be documented, but we don't, there's not a separate
You don't keep
category.
stats.
No, we wouldn't necessarily keep that. It would be obtainable. We could go into the records management system and find that, sure. Mhm.
All right.
Commissioner McGilvery?
Yeah, do we offer this DRE officer to communities that may not have
Yes,
that?
I maybe you didn't hear me. Any other department that calls, we'll go out and respond.
Okay,
I think the last time I checked, there maybe is only about 12 countywide, maybe 15 countywide. And we all have an agreement with each other that if one of ours isn't available, then we'll call Auburn Hills or Madison Heights, or whoever happens to have one of their officers trained as a DRE.
is there any effort in trying to get each department to have one of their own?
Well, you can tell it's very labor intensive. It's 80 hours, actually more than 80 hours, because then they got to go to Arizona on top of that. So it's not only is it time, it's a lot of training. There's an expense there, and you'd have to generally backfill on overtime. I'm not aware that there are any grants, quite frankly, for this. There may be.
But that's why this is here today, because each local municipality has a DRE officer. They're gonna go through the same process. The state of Michigan is making this money available, so if you get called out as a DRE, then we can get reimbursed for your salary. And so the locals have that same option, and most of them are doing it. I don't know, I haven't talked to all of them, but, so this is a pot of money that the state's doing, saying, and that's why they want this cooperative effort between all of us.
Right, so it's a reimbursement for the call-out.
Very good.
Because it would generally be on overtime.
Yeah.
Because they don't, they know that you can't have 400 officers in the county trained as DREs. It's just too time-consuming and training-wise, so they're trying to get a good group of individuals that meet this criteria.
All right, thanks.
That, you say it's an 80-hour block of training for the DRE?
Yes, sir.
Can you use forfeiture funds for that training?
You could, sure. As long as forfeiture funds are allowed to enhance law enforcement.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be.
Is that what you did?
I'm not sure. It may be, I'm pretty sure it's 302 eligible. So 302 training funds, you can use which is your state funds you get from the state of Michigan. It is 302 eligible, so that can be paid for out of your 302 funds.
Now, did you say there's more than just the Sheriff's Department, Oakland County? doing
Right, there's
the
about
DRE?
12 or 15 officers countywide. I know for sure Auburn Hills, I can't remember the other local departments that participate, but there are
I'm
several.
asking because I, some questions about Macomb County.
Sure, I'm not familiar with what Macomb.
Can I just ask you one other question?
Yes, sir.
Kind of unrelated. Narcan, do you keep stats on Narcan?
Sure do.
Can you give a look, do you have any sort of a?
We're up, since we implemented, we were the first department statewide to implement it. And we're up around over probably 150 in the last 2+ years deployments with probably, if there's 150, probably 143 or 142 is where we revived the person. There were 6 or 7 where.
So you've saved a lot of lives.
Oh, yes, sir. Unfortunately, some of them are repeat customers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Each time you use Narcan, that particular person has to be conveyed to the hospital?
Yes, that is
part of your
correct.
policy?
Yes. And then we try to get them into treatment from there, but some of them don't listen.
Right. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Berman,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Anything else to report under Sheriff
No, sir.
McCabe?
We did have a fatal accident out here last night in front of the sheriff's office on Telegraph Road where a motorcyclist
Sorry to hear that.
he fled a deputy down on Elizabeth Lake Road. The sergeant called the chase off in front of the mall. In fact, the deputy lost sight of him, and then as he got up to the light up here at right by the Fallen Heroes Memorial, he went left to center and hit a Jeep and ultimately died late last night.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's your deputy doing? I understand he's recovering.
Deputy Hack is still out in Colorado. He's made some pretty good progress. He still has a ways to go, but it's a closed head injury. He is walking, he's talking, and slowly but surely, we hope that, a miracle occurs and he's able to come back to work someday.
Great. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have under communications 2 items. Need a motion to receive and file. It's moved by Commissioner Jackson, supported by Commissioner Berman. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Okay, other business, is there any other business? Okay, seeing none, we're adjourned.